안녕하세요, 여러분. 크리스티입니다. 한국어 공부 있어요. 오늘은 방탄 아카데미에 드디어 들어가고 있어요. 이 블로그에 저는 한국어를 공부할 거예요. 연습할 것입니다. 요즘에 I've been focusing on input처럼 스티브 커프맨 너무 좋아요. 팟캐스트를 듣고 있었습니다. For example, 한국어 권앙독, 스폰저 마인드, 함께 존슨, Real Life Korean Conversations for Beginners, DTMIK, 이야기, 그리고 more. BTS ARMY입니다. 트와이스, 이치, The Seraphim, ATEEZ 다 좋았습니다. DTMIK 챗들은 좋았습니다. 레벨 3에 있습니다. 한국어 공부했습니다. 너는? 궁금해요. I apologize for kind of switching around with my politeness levels. I am not an expert yet. I don't really know how you're supposed to ask someone a question in like the highest level of politeness because everybody just says 너 and nobody says 당신. So obviously I'm still studying. 공부하는 거 재미있었어. 재미있습니다. 재미. 그럼 갈까요? Here we go. I cannot show you anything because Bangtan Academy requests that you don't share like screenshots or screen recordings or anything, but I'm just gonna tell you how I'm feeling, what I'm learning as we go through this. So as I'm sitting here going through the rules, by the way, I entered it. I'm in the Discord. It's making me aware that I didn't actually explain what Bangtan Academy is, so why don't I do that now, just in case you don't know. Bangtan Academy is a free Discord server for learning Korean, and it takes several months to get in because it's so popular. I think it's only been around for like 2 years, but it's already so popular. They just get hundreds and hundreds of people entering every time they have an entry period opening. And it's a very like complicated process with lots of waiting, so I'm excited that I'm finally doing it. Yay. So you have to do about 6 hours, I think they said, of study a month, which will probably be more like 10 for me because I tend to be slower at everything. But we'll see. So you have to turn in homework every month or you will get dismissed from the server, like being expelled from a school. But you can always come back later. You can like re-enter. But since it takes like 5 or 6 months to enter, you really wouldn't really want to do that. No, it's more than that. Because when did I try to enter? In like September or something, and it's now May, and I'm just finally entering today. Today is May 7th. So yeah, it takes quite a while. And there's social activities, but only if you finished your homework, because it's not a social Discord. It's not like it's really a school, and it's free. Unless you want to buy your own books for certain courses, you would need to do that, but you don't have to take those courses if you don't want to buy your own books. There's lots of free courses too. I'm really amazed at what they've got going here because it's all volunteer run. Oh my gosh, guys. I just had to do the King Sejong's Institute test, the level test, because they want to find out how much Korean I know, and it was the most stressful thing because it's timed. So I was doing okay for like the first half, and I was like, okay, I'm feeling confident about most of these, but I realized I was like about a minute behind, and so then I tried speeding up, and then I started panicking, and then the questions got harder, and I had no idea the last like 10 questions what I was saying or answering. I would say my listening is needs some work. So now I have the reading portion of the institute test But I think I'm gonna take a break because that was really stressful. It was probably around 10 that I started filming this, and it's now 11:30. So I've been reading everything like very carefully, and then I just took the test, and I have another test. One more test to go. Actually, I think there's another test that I need to do too, because a friend of mine who entered Bangtan Academy before I did, there was another test that she mentioned. I just recently realized that my learning, I needed to work more on listening because I wasn't picking things up quickly enough. It was going very slowly and leisurely, which is typically how I prefer to learn, which is fine. But if you're actually trying to learn how to speak a language, you need to be able to have like a second brain in that language and to go quickly, and I wasn't going quickly enough. So that's why I've switched over to listening a whole bunch lately, and also to just like reading rather than studying grammar so much. Anyways, okay, I'm gonna take a break and hang out with my husband for a while, and then I'll come back and finish the test.
Who should fire the shot? Well, it sure shouldn't be Kevin or Link, I can tell you that. Thunder rings out across the landscape, rains the oxen. The situation with the meat.
Okay.
We have 120 is eyes a wounded jackrabbit limping amidst the grass off the trail. And if we miss, it's just one bullet.
Position. Carpenter skills is this, and also a farmer is really good at anyone who assists. You can mention Samuel Pepper, or anything. Truly, your carpentry skills are inspiring.
So the reading test was like way less stressful for me, and I mean, you can just see my reading is quite a bit better than my listening. So they're still not great because I'm only in 2A, but definitely better at reading than listening, which is not surprising since I've only recently really started working on listening. And I definitely did not understand most of it, and they could tell. Like, they knew. I did not fool them. But I didn't do too bad on the grammar and vocabulary. I feel like it could have been a lot worse. I mean, 50%, that's not great, but that's better actually than I kind of thought. So, yay. I was much more comfortable on this portion of the test. So another thing that these results tell me, and which doesn't surprise me at all, my understanding is low, even though my vocabulary and grammar are not really high, but higher than my understanding. And what that tells me is I spend a lot of time with the grammar books, which is true, and not that much time in the wild actually learning to decipher Korean. Like, I've tried to have Korean friends, but I got so overwhelmed because I wasn't understanding what they were saying. So I just figured, well, I'm probably not ready for that yet. But the more time I spend actually reading Korean content and hopefully making Korean friends, hopefully my understanding will actually go up. Because I noticed with a lot of people's scores, not a lot, but some people's scores, they had higher understanding and lower vocabulary and grammar. That's like probably more indicative of somebody who speaks and writes and learns through speaking and writing, versus me. I'm learning from grammar books because I like to have everything correct, you know. So but it takes a long time to do that, and that kind of fear it holds me back because I have not only social anxiety, but I don't like to make mistakes, period. So I always feel like if I'm not ready to do something, why am I going to push myself to do it? But clearly I need to work on pushing myself in the understanding category. So I know I should step out and make some friends, but I just got really overwhelmed when I tried to do so on, I forget what it was called now. Well, anyway, it's not popping up, but kind of like Kakao Talk, but it was more structured because you could actually like correct their answers. It's actually a really cool app. I can't remember it. I should get back on that and meet some people again. I just feel bad because I kind of end up, ooh, relevant. Hey there guys, now it is Wednesday, May 10th in the evening. I have been working every day to try and get myself all acclimated to BA and sign up for my courses. I'm amazed at all the course ideas that they have. A lot of them aren't open right now, so you have to kind of take some what you can get to some degree, but I'm just amazed by the offerings because it's all free. So, and another fun thing that they had us do was figure out our learning styles, and so I thought I would share that with you because it was kind of fun. So I tested into solitary learner, and solitary learner was really interesting because I've always felt like I learned best like with no distractions, just a book in my hand. And that's kind of what this talks about. Solitary learners need to be alone where they can focus on their research with fewer distractions, and that's how they learn best. And that has always really fit me. I never did well in like lecture courses or classrooms. I was always just very quiet, and I did great on like home study type things. Like I raised my math score by going on vacation once and doing all my homework out of the book, and the teacher told me, oh, you could have been in honors for this. And I had always been terrible at math, so apparently what I just needed was a math textbook and no classroom, and I would have been great at math. So I thought that that fit me really well, and I thought it was a really smart idea for BA to help students develop some self-knowledge so that you know how you learn best. And I also tested as a traditional learning style, which is read plus write plus repeat. And it was like, don't kid yourself. Listening to K-pop and watching K-drama is not going to teach you Korean. Some learners can learn that way, and I do find myself picking up things here and there, but in general I get a lot more out of reading. And of course listening is important because I have to develop my ear, but reading and memorizing words on the side is how I can eventually start stringing these things together. So I guess what I want to say is that BA is so extremely well organized, and if you are thinking of joining it, you should definitely do so. It's so worth it. If you are Army or friends of Army, definitely do it. So I'll update you at the end of the week and let you know, once I've signed up for my classes, what my plan of study is going to be from here on out. Bye! Hello guys. Okay, it is now the end of the week, Sunday, May 14th. Woo! So I started this last Sunday, May 7th, so yep, just about 8 days. So I am into Bangtan Academy, and I'm taking my first class. I've turned in half of my homework that I need for the month. They have a system of how much you need to do in order to stay in the club, but they recommend you do more, because if that's all you do, you're not going to be learning very quickly. For me, it was still a whole lot of work, but I understand what they're saying. So I might try to join a second club or class. I don't want to get too much into the details because I don't want to spoil things for Bangtan Academy. They've been so kind to set all this up. I want to definitely follow their guidelines of not spoiling things or letting their system be like copied or whatever. I don't know. Not that anybody could copy it. Like honestly, there's so many amazing volunteers and people that have been attracted to Bangtan Academy through the boys, BTS, and it's incredible the amount of support in that group. I did get into a class following Talk to Me in Korean level 1, which I've already done. I'm already into level 3, but I've put a pause on that while I catch up because I feel like it'll just be too much to be doing both levels at once. So I did my homework for the beginning of this, and I'm definitely gonna, so they want me to put in lots of notes and show them that I've done the work and that I understand it. Even though I tested into 2A in Sejong's, I still have to show them that this specific book I know all the stuff in, and book 2 I know all the stuff in. So I'm gonna be doing review classes for both of these, hopefully. And I'm hoping that by the time they start like a new generation of classes for level 3, that I'll actually be able to join a live class, which would mean actual attending class, which I don't know if attending class is going to be my thing because I always feel exhausted after attending class. I think that's part of being a very isolated learner. I feel like that's what they called it. I get worn out very easily by socialization, and it makes me not learn as much. It's important because if you're going to develop the language as something that you can actually speak, you have to practice. And of course, it's all much more fun and more useful to you if you make friends who speak the language. And of course, I want to make friends. That's like a huge reason for learning any language, is I want to be able to talk to people in their language. But I I'm just gonna need to get a little farther along, I think, before I'm really comfortable talking with someone in Korean. There's this app called Tandem, and I tried to make friends on there, but I was just too slow. Maybe if I can find somebody who wants to chat face to face when I'm more comfortable, then maybe that would work for me better than texting. If you're communicating in real time, you're just kind of trying to get your point across in any way that you can. You just gotta be confident enough to do that. And I might be able to be confident enough for that, but I don't think I'm really quite there yet. Thrilled to be in BA. This first week has been overwhelming. I'm not gonna lie. I had so much stress that I didn't get any work done for my actual job, and I didn't sleep very well some nights, and I had a lot of chronic pain as a result. In fact, I'm still having chronic pain as a result of that. So it was really intense, but it's definitely going to be worth it. The reason I went through it was because I knew it would be worth it in the long run. And I guess if it's not, if I'm like 6 months down the line and decide this is too much stress and I'm not learning enough, then I could always just quit. Or I could like go to a lower level of commitment. And I'm super excited to keep learning, which is really the goal of BA. It's to make learning fun and to get excited about learning, because you'll definitely learn more easily and better if you're enjoying the process. So that's my vlog for this week, and I hope that you enjoyed it. Let me know. Please do let me know if you enjoyed it, and let me know what language you're studying, if you're studying Korean. And if you're studying anything else, I'm also very curious. Take care until next time. Bye-bye.